You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I fancy myself a journalist, unbiased. I'm the urinator. When things get too exciting in town in sports, your local neighborhood columnist comes over and says, pump the brakes. Everybody slow down. We've been here before. But I can't remember this century, and I think I got 2 generations of Codys around here this century, of the Dolphins being able to say in December, top seed by, Baltimore, Kansas City might have to come here. I'm not scared of anybody in December. I can't be biased anymore. I'm in TuneOn.
Wow.
Welcome.
I can't be unbiased anymore. I've been trying. For 20 years, I've established the character of the urinator.
Right.
Everybody's all excited. I come around. I'm like, hold on, everybody.
So it took 45-15 over the Commanders for you to stop urinating?
This is problematic for the future of our show, but I would say that what you saw yesterday in a game nobody but Miami cares about, because San Francisco ended everything Miami was when we all backed off with like, oh, holy shit, when they're healthy, they're better than everybody. Look at what, nobody drags Philadelphia in Philadelphia like that.
Do it in the postseason.
That's fine, but they would have last year if they had a quarterback, if McCaffrey wasn't playing quarterback.
Right.
They've done it quite a bit in the postseason.
And you know what? They make it to the NFC Championship game. They make it to a Super Bowl. They never finish it off.
Okay, so do it in the Super Bowl and finish it off.
And finish it off.
All
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
win a Super Bowl.
I think I talked you off a little bit.
A little bit.
Impressive team nonetheless. We saw it yesterday. They're healthy. Holy shit, they're going to be hard to beat by anybody. But to me, the most encouraging thing about what the Dolphins have that is meant to echo that, because San Francisco's been a step away with Garoppolo. He can't play. As a sustainable business model, when you've got the schemer who can produce 45 points, and he's got some sort of cheat code, because Achan now this is cheating because they scored 70 against Denver, but when he's out there, they're 500 yards a game and 40 points a game on average, because what they have is sustainable, because where San Francisco has Deebo Samuel, who changes the entire game, they have Tyreek Hill, who's clearly a game breaker and shifted the power in the conference from Kansas City to Miami all of a sudden. Because that's what's happened. Stugotz Mahomes now we know, seeing Tyreek Hill in Miami, you see that, look, it cheapens by degrees in Kansas City. Yeah, Barry Switzer won a championship after Jimmy Johnson left him players, but it gets cheapened a little bit. And when you have to pay Tyreek over here or let him go, he needs that receiver.
The thing that's hard to figure out with the Chiefs, I'm not saying you're wrong, Dan, but they won a Super Bowl since letting Tyreek Hill go.
But but my point was that Barry Switzer won one with what was left of Jimmy Johnson before the entire game changed. Like, what the point of what I'm saying is, now you see, because this is crazy, Stugotz, this part is crazy. So while the game was entirely changing and the running back became disposable, the San Francisco 49ers said, no, we got a bunch of scheme advantages, and let's go get McCaffrey. And now he leads the league in touchdowns. But who's second? Mostert, and he's not the special one on this offense.
No.
Like, that part's crazy. You're built like San Francisco. You got San Francisco East now and what the Dolphins are, and now you're competing at the top of the brain power of the sport.
Well, I've got good news for Dolphins fans, because I think what you're presently seeing is you are turning into Kansas City, where you had the young, cheap quarterback put up big numbers because he had great skill set, and as you mentioned, Kansas City has won 2 Super Bowls that way. What you're seeing with Kansas City today in the last 2 weeks, which has really been the story of the season with Kansas City, is those receivers are not making plays. And while Patrick Mahomes still remains the best quarterback in the league from a talent perspective, he needs some skill help. And hopefully for the Miami Dolphins, you get to the point where you're going to have to overpay Tua. And you may also have to say goodbye to Tyreek Hill down the line the way that the Kansas City Chiefs were. But that's a good model to find, especially for this franchise that's dying at a shot at a Super Bowl.
It is, but I do feel like for the Dolphins to make it to the Super Bowl, they need to have the 1 seed. They need to have home field advantage. Like, I'm more confident that Mahomes can go on the road and win a couple of playoff games than Tua.
You don't get to be tapped the brakes today. I'm saying that right now, as of today, the top seed in December is the Miami Dolphins. And That they've won all the games against easy teams and that you doubt them doesn't much matter to me, because I imagine that what would happen to Miami against San Francisco being healthy is what just happened to Philadelphia. That's okay, but I also think the Dolphins can beat anybody, and I certainly think they can win 2 playoff games and then take their chances against hoping that San Francisco's hurt.
See, the Dolphins and their fans have gotten too comfortable already with their success that we're going into the conversation of, can we compete against these good teams? I don't want to do that yet. We can have that conversation when we get to the playoffs. Let's just celebrate the teams that we're better than now. Mm-hmm. We are now in a space. I am watching football games, and I'm like, this Colts-Titans game is so sad. I was them for 20 years.
Yeah, you were.
It is so fun now to just look around the league and be like, Falcons?
They're going to host a home game.
The Saints, Derek Carr?
Yeah, check downs.
It is just
check downs.
3rd and 12, no problem.
Oh.
That is where I am right now.
How good does it look inside the division?
Oh, I just want to live here.
Yeah,
forever.
I'll give you what you want, Chris. I think the Dolphins are making the Super Bowl. I genuinely think they're making the Super Bowl.
So do I, if they get home field.
But I do think they're going to get home field.
We're all late to this party. Cody was way ahead.
No, that's the thing. Everyone's doing the thing today of who said Tyreek Hill for MVP first.
Me.
My dad wrote the column yesterday.
Yep.
Stugotz said he said it 4 weeks ago. Tony says he said it week 2.
That part's gross.
Right. What part?
All of it. All of it.
I just want to be clear on your strategy with the Dolphins. You think they can win 2 and then pray that the Niners are hurt in the Super Bowl?
That is correct. Okay. I believe that everyone in the sport is hoping the Niners are hurt the rest of the season.
They always are.
I just need to know who in our world said Tyreek Hill MVP first.
It was me.
I mean, why have a sports show if you can't take credit for saying that thing first? That's the rule.
But that's not even the grossest part of this. The grossest part is just all things Tyreek Hill. All of the moral conundrums that bring the football fun from Kansas City to Miami as Hard Knocks celebrates his love and marriage.
He's changed.
And we throw.
Give him a chance. He's a different man. Think about who you were when you were 21.
Tyreek Hill is putting together the best receiving season any of us have ever seen.
It wasn't even the MVP yesterday, though. Van Ginkel.
Oh, did he have a game?
Man, look. I know the discussion with Jalen Phillips is depth. You want to have Van Ginkel and Jalen Phillips. But over the last season, and I'm in the tank for Phillips, he's a Kane. But anytime Van Ginkel gets in there, he is making impact plays. I think it's low-key an upgrade.
Mike Ryan is scouring. Look, Mike Ryan's a lunatic, and he is scouring all gambling advantages wherever he could find them. And I just got a text in the middle of the afternoon that just was, I would bet right now that Van Ginkel will have the first sack. I would bet money on that. If I could find anywhere where I could bet that, and then Van Ginkel comes in. Mike is studying film, trying to find betting advantages in the crevices in the corners. And
he didn't get that sack?
They didn't credit him.
What?
Not according to
I thought he had a sack, a pick six, and he came an inch away from blocking a punt in the first half.
Yes.
Filing a formal appeal to Cowboy Carl.
Van Ginkel wrecked them. But let's talk about Tyreek Hill for a second, Stugotz, because Wes Welker, now this is the patron saying, keep in mind, one of the things that I'm just flabbergasted right now is that I live in a time where Jabril Peppers is apologizing publicly for being on the field and saying to Saquon Barkley, you're lucky we're ass after a 10-7 game. He had to apologize for that. Look at what the Patriots are, Belichick without Brady. When the sport...
They're Iowa.
When the sport changes real fast, Mike Evans is a receiver that's a Hall of Famer. 10 straight seasons, 1,000-yard seasons, 10 straight of them. Tyreek Hill's going to double that. Like, if he stays healthy, and that's a game-changing code that when McDaniel tells you at the beginning of the season, when they brought me Tyreek Hill as a possibility, I said, give them everything, because he knew he could then build this 49er thing from there.
I know what you mean by saying stays healthy, but most people just hearing that are assuming, if they're not paying attention, that Tyreek Hill has been healthy this season. He hasn't been.
Right.
He has been battling through injuries, real bad ones for speed guys, ankle injuries and whatnot, soft tissue injuries. He goes out at least once a game. It's not because he's dramatic. Guy has been banged up. He is doing this while he has been hurt. There's a difference between hurt and injured.
You say banged up, but Stugotz, I mean, Armstead yesterday in the game, I heard it. They're like, and he came into the game with a quad and a hamstring, but now he leaves for an ankle. And Higbee in the Rams game, they're like, he just got tested for a concussion. They're also checking his neck and, by the way, his hand. He left the field writhing with the hand. When you say banged up, like, do we really?
Everyone's banged up.
No, but
Dan.
it's not. It's just unbelievable what these people are doing.
It's crazy.
So what? But for Tyreek Hill to get behind the defense twice, for Tua long ball conversations to be totally gone. No one's having those anymore because that guy did that for Mahomes and now he does it for Tua.
Was that second one a good throw?
I don't think anyone
even
knows.
It was a
matter.
great adjustment by Tyreek. You can see him adjust midway where he's looking over his shoulder one way, and he's like, "Oh wait, let me just
That's
full
correct.
speed. Let me go the
Then
other
it
way and
falls
catch it."
right there. Like Tyreek ran up to Tua after that play. I was trying to ask the same question. I was like, wait, was that a great play by Tyreek? A great throw? That was one of those plays no one knows what really happened there.
Because of the holiday, we didn't really get the opportunity to talk how like Tua's doing all of this with a shark bite on his arm. He quite literally
that.
gave you a pound of flesh.
Yes. That was disgusting. You didn't see this, Jessica? Jessica, he has a car.
Wait, hold on. There was a Dolphins game yesterday.
You're wearing the colors. Why are you wearing aqua and orange
She's
today?
Dolphin.
I'm not. I don't think I'm wearing a Piggly Wiggly shirt, Dan. I didn't know this was going to be
Colors,
interpreted
though.
as a Dolphin.
Yeah,
You knew what you were
colors.
doing.
That's celebrating the big matchup between Washington, historically known as the Hogs, and an aqua shirt. I mean, you are all Dolphin.
Yep.
I don't think so. I was watching the ESPN college football selection show, which I know we will talk about
That happened?
later in the show, but I honestly missed all of the highlights from the. Did they even show it on Red Zone? Like, I think this game was over so quickly that I must have just missed all of it.
I think the main talking point is a fan got a religious exemption for his Flanagan's Cup.
What?
We need to talk about. I did see that.
What?
A fan was able to bring in a Flanagan's Cup, and apparently it was because he was given a religious exemption, according to the tweet. What does that mean?
I mean, you know if you're from here.
It's the chalice, it's the Holy Grail,
Yeah.
the cup and chalice.
It is the most golden cup we have. We should absolutely have some sort of Flanagan Cup trophy for some great prize won around here because it is it's bigger. What? Put it on the poll, Juju. Better
best.
cup for South Florida. Cup that South Florida values more. Stanley or Flanagan?
Oh, Flanagan.
Flanagan's without a
Flanagan's. I was watching College Game Day I was watching the Open of College Game Day, and the Flanagan's flag that made an appearance last year is in the Open.
Always.
So it always brings a smile on my face. Also, I saw a Flanagan's commercial for the first time. I hadn't seen them do TV.
On TV?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A little,
Where?
A little risque.
I've seen
Wow.
it.
A little risque.
Flanagan's?
Was it a Big Daddy's Liquor commercial?
No.
I think I've seen one of those before.
No, it was like straight out of the 90s where a very
Flanagan's.
attractive woman is eating ribs and, so there's sauce dripping, and it was nice to see.
We used to be a proper country. I've been quietly amassing a lot of Flanagan's Cups for one specific thing. We got my Christmas tree yesterday, and I'm trying to persuade my wife to do a Christmas tree Flanagan Cup decoration. I don't think she's going to go for it, but I do have the ammunition of about 600
Explain.
Flanagan's
Idea.
Cups.
I thought you were
meant
using it to fill the water up.
Oh, I thought an
No.
entire Christmas tree just made entirely of Flanagan's Cups.
That would have been a good idea, but
That's
no,
a
put
great
like a little
idea.
hook inside of them and like hang them from the Christmas tree.
So they're ornaments.
like they're ornaments
I like
the whole
that.
way down.
Yeah.
Because I think of Flanagan's Cup as the star on top of the tree.
Just
Ooh,
one
I could
cup.
do that too.
That
Yeah.
would be nice.
Right.
Okay, so before we bring in David Sampson here, I would like our team of independent creative thinkers who are now living in the commerce market. I want for us to team with Flanagan so that by the end of the month, David Sampson and Angel Resto are selling Flanagan's Christmas trees because we celebrate the holidays with Flanagan's because we don't believe in any cup. Look, Mike Ryan has been so reluctant recently to do anything in the way of free advertising for anybody.
But Flanagan's.
Like he's always in here, don't talk about that, don't talk about this. Our sponsors are sponsors, you're costing us sponsors. Mike Ryan is so proud of that cup, which he has drunk from liberally for 20 years. That's an iconic cup. Now, this is how you do a live spot. Flanagan's, come help us build Christmas trees with you for the holidays.
If my wife will let me.
We're going to have to cut them in, though. I mean,
No, I'm
that's-
talking about selling them to our customers.
Right.
That would be a big seller all around Florida right there. We got to capitalize on this damn Dolphins run. Turn it into money.
with Flanagan cups.
This cup is going to be in Las Vegas come February. Because the Dolphins are making the Super Bowl, and we need to turn up in Las Vegas. We need to make it a Miami affair.
Folks, listen up. U.S. Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Don Le Batard.
David Sampson, weirdo. Because he was not the fun substitute teacher who'd wheel out a TV and play a VHS tape of Armageddon in science class. He was the weird one who would eat an egg salad sandwich while clipping his toenails into the trash can and ranting about Ronald Reagan.
Stugotz.
And the guy kept talking about how his ass was smooth, smoother than a newborn's cheek. He wouldn't stop bragging about his bare buttocks to me.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We'll get to David Sampson here in just a minute, but Dan, I am told by the video team, my Tariq Hill take was made on October 30th, a full month before Greg Cody. And I'm not certain they're right, by the way. I feel like I made it earlier.
We have to check the tape because on Sunday Night Live, I might have said it week 2.
Wow.
So
Okay, I'm not going to become the show. I mean, this is what Kornheiser and Wilbon still do. I will not have that be the way that we do this.
But I said it.
Where who was first to the take gets the most right of the take. But Greg Cody was maximum homer. He was saying
He was
Tyreek
also
Hill-
last, it seems.
He was saying 2,000-yard seasons as soon as he got here, the moment they signed him.
Right.
He was first.
He said
to
it
the
before
take.
Tyreek? 2,000 yards?
Before everybody. But we are going to get to college football because it is so wonderfully bananas. Like just the greatest thing. Total, absolute chaos.
We also need to get to college basketball because I saw Joe Zagacki in person for the first time ever this weekend. And I don't know what I was picturing.
You're lucky.
but it
Should have said
wasn't
hi.
I like two Zagakis here. I like Tony. I can't. Yours is getting good enough that I want Zagacki making an appearance every once in a while from
Just a little worried about the judgment.
multiple angles.
It's not necessarily being able to sound like the man.
I know.
It's easy enough.
What to say,
Being able to,
what not to say.
I know.
being known how
I know.
to walk a razor's edge.
We got this.
sometimes, and
I know. But
you just saying, "Oh yeah, no, that's great." Chris Cody, you do it. You see my concerns.
yes.
Maybe chill.
We see it.
I'm more the merrier, right? Not gimmick infringement. Everyone finds it funny. It's not difficult to do the voice. It's great. Yeah, everyone do your voice. It's really, don't get us fired.
You don't mind.
Don't get us in trouble.
I'm
Don't
fine.
harass anyone.
We got it.
Don't incite a riot in the nation's capital.
I am fine. If you wish to do that job as program director from
Sift through his thoughts? That's tough.
his,
Perhaps we should have talked about this in a meeting. But my concern isn't that he doesn't do it well enough. He probably does it better than me.
I want Chris Cody in the mix, and we will see if we can govern Tony a little better. But I do want to get to the bananas of college football because it's the most perfect thing, the most wonderful, wonderful thing that what happened in college football. And I am legitimately excited to talk about it because chaos. Chris Cody, you rooted for chaos. And you got chaos. I mean, so we've got plenty to talk about there. But first, Stugotz, I want to stop on a serious note for just a moment here before we bring in Dave Sampson and sort of explain to you what the merch store means to me and the story behind the merch store and why David Sampson is being called here because I needed his help with some business things. I don't know how to do business. And so he's running the merch store now. And the merch store debuted. And keep in mind, the merch store, what it means to me so that I can explain it to the audience. And it's the place, like, I'm not for sale, right? Like, I don't do commercial reads for anything ever for 20 years. And Stugotz does them and makes all the money from being our sales branch.
For sale, yep.
Our sales branch. And the merch store is where my brother's art resides, and Angel Resto has been trying to run it for many years. But I'm going to explain to people what it means to me before we bring in David Sampson here, because I got like really pissed off this weekend, like hurt and mad because it's just such a small thing. So
Dan's Emotion is brought to you by our Miller Lite event at Dolphin Mall on December 11th. It is confirmed. Titans, Dolphins come out all ages at the Miller Lite stage at Dolphin Mall, Vivo, Miami, December 11th. And it's all brought to you by Miller Lite and Dollar Shave Club.
Thank you, Mike. The merch store was never meant to be anything other than at Disney. They had their brackets for where producers could get and whatnot, and they wouldn't allow me to keep paying people with my own money.
Eye on the ball.
And so we had to invent a different way to monetize what the producers were making around here, because they'd been pushed down into files, into brackets.
You needed to create a revenue stream to give more money to the producers. It's that simple.
So I made no money off of this ever. Never wanted to be in the business. Wrote a bunch of checks for a bunch of employees. Never wanted to be doing any of those kinds of things. Like, don't like math. Business makes me mad, and I know poison when I see it. And money is poison, and the way people get around it is poison. So we tried to split it up as best we could among everybody, and now it resides here, the company. We owned it. That was the beginning of the end for us at Disney. Once we'd negotiated our own, like my brother's own ability to make art and merch, like that's the first conflict we had that ruined one mosque down here, because I was trying to throw parties with my brother that celebrated art and music and sports being fun. And so my brother had a merch store, his best friend, my best friend, bedside for the last year with my brother. And what he wants from me, with something he birthed, because he never thought I trafficked in this lane enough. Dan, no, go make money. Who cares if you're a f***ing sellout? Who cares? Put your art on boats. You get to make a living this way.
I knew this segment would get away from us.
No. This is why I'm mad, though, Mike. This strikes an emotional chord for me. It's not just merch. And so we debuted last week, and Samson's handling this for us. He's handling the merch store for us, and I've avoided social media because it's been poison for a while now, and I've just been trying to get Angel Resto the ability to immediately make things live off of the show so people can enjoy remembering that moment. And we opened, and Angel calls me hurt. He's hurt because this thing, he's caretaking my brother's spirit. He's caretaking my brother's art, and that's what I've entrusted Samson with. That's the merch store. The merch store is not just another merch store. And so when I hear our customers are complaining to me that we're priced like everybody else, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, we're following everybody else's model now? Now that we got to freedom, we're going to do it the way everyone else does it. And so Samson comes in, and I haven't talked about this part with him because he's doing his best. He cares about me. He's doing his best. Like, this person loves me.
He does, yes.
And he's doing his best to do this. And we debut, and all I'm hearing is complaints because we're in business now and we're selling art. So, David, what happened?
Well, what happened is that you ruined my weekend by communicating with me nonstop at all hours of the day and night because you were upset that your fans were upset about prices. Your fans were upset about the selection. Your fans were upset. Angel was upset because there weren't enough of his designs on. People in the shipping container were upset because of the split and how it was going to happen, both financially and from an art standpoint. And you downloaded on me all of the problems, and you didn't take into account of what I had to deal with to just get the merch store up, because you built a company that is full of nothing but people who stop things from getting done. And most things don't get done at all. So you basically ruined my weekend, and then you asked me to be on the show this morning when I had a different appointment, and I promised you I would cancel my appointment. So I'm here. What is it that is bothering you other than the emotion of me not taking care of everybody properly?
No, it's because I want to figure out a way to make it so that everyone can be happy around the money, because our audience is always giving money to the causes around us. Anytime we ask them for money, it's meaningful. It's not like just, hey, give us $7 for something. The chief complaint that bothered me was how expensive things were.
You just did a deal with Max where you could end up behind a paywall for the same hour that is free on YouTube, and you're talking to me about you don't care about money when I know exactly how much money Metalark and you are making. But no, a $40 shirt is now too much.
It's not me. I've put other people in charge of the business side of this. That's why I need you to clean this shit up.
Yeah, but
I did clean it up.
Yeah, you put David Samson in charge of the business.
Right.
And now you're upset with what David Samson did with the power.
I'll
This
handle
is
it,
what
Dan.
he does.
$10 shirts.
Great. No. The prices are exactly where they should be. Should your stuff be more expensive than my stuff? Yes, you've got more fans. You've got a bigger audience. It's time to take advantage of that audience and monetize it.
Supply and
Instead of
demand.
you writing checks out of your pocket, why not let the customer write the checks so you can make more money?
Dan, listen to David Sampson. It is time to take advantage of our audience.
What we're talking about here is the $40 T-shirts, right? They're $40. Is that what the?
Plus shit.
And people complained on Twitter.
I wasn't looking on Twitter, and I actually thought that David Sampson being in charge of the merch store was a bit until I just asked Mike Ryan, and he was like, "No, this is actually real."
He is.
A bit.
He is.
He's really doing it.
One thing that confused me is I know that we prioritize. I was involved with the last merch store that had plenty of options, but the customer service wasn't up to snuff. The quality of the shirts wasn't up to snuff. And I think from still images, people have made a snap judgment on the quality of the shirts when I know that was a priority, which is probably helping explain the price point. But I'm not going to speak for David. David spoke for David plenty here. Are there any upcoming pivots for the merch store? Is this what it is?
No, we're not doing it that way. What do you mean are they upcoming pivot? We're not doing it that way.
I know, but you're surprised and getting mad at a man who sold Roy Halladay's no-hit ball.
Yes,
I mean,
okay, because I'm not good at this part, and neither are you, Stugotz,
I
because
know.
you want all of the money.
Well, duh.
So, Samson, help me bridge this divide, because it's why they say don't work with your friends. Don't do business with your friends. Are you an idiot, Le Batard, doing business with your friends? Again, I will tell you, I can't have our customer base that supports us most loyally, David, than any customer base. It's how we build the way we do. It's because they listen for more hours than anybody, no matter what Spotify does to junk up the numbers. And they deserve it to be cheaper than everybody else. Don't tell me Barstool does this and Rogan does this. I haven't talked to you about the specifics of how much this bothers me spiritually, because I keep getting told you don't mix these two things. Creatives can't do these things. And this is why, because you guys all f it up.
So let me address two things that, Dan, you need to change about yourself. Number one, the fact that you let business bleed into our relationship this weekend is extremely problematic, because this price points in the merch store is the tip of the iceberg with what needs to change at Metalark that I want to be a part of and do that you've charged me to do. We've only just begun, Karen Carpenter. So if you don't have the stomach for a $40 shirt, then you may have a problem with everything else.
Knock the price down, David. Seriously, knock the price down.
No,
Mike.
You put him in charge, Dan.
$37.
Can we revisit the cut that the shipping container is unhappy about? Because this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Well, so listen to this part. This one's lovely. This one's lovely. If you want the innards of the business spilled in front of everybody,
Show it to me.
This one's gross. This one's the formula that had to be created so that all of these people could get their other extra money, so that Disney wasn't paying them, became the salary structure here, so that they could make more money here. All in. Everything they were making, all of the money, so that we could pay them better than Disney was with what that merch store was, which was just a contrivance.
You're saying a lot of F words, pal.
You really are. Calm down.
Dan, I would like to point out that one of the biggest mistakes you made in forming Metalark is you paid people for things for revenue that did not exist. The merch store revenue wasn't there, but you were paying everyone as though they were getting a piece of something that was fugazi. And now what we've done is that nobody gets a piece of anything but you. And by the way, for you and how high and mighty you are about, it's all about the audience, you demanded it that way. You wanted to make sure that nobody got paid anything, except you wanted me to take the blame for it.
What do you mean,
I'm
me?
happy to do it.
What do you mean,
my
me?
decision.
No,
I'm happy to do it, Dan. No. I'm happy to say to you, Jessica, and everyone in the shipping container that none of you are getting $1 from the merch. It's all going to Dan.
Well,
but
proud of you,
what
Danny.
he does in return is pays all of you to work for him. So the money does flow to you, just not shirt by shirt.
Trickle down.
And in terms of
That sounds great.
Yeah.
We're happy about that.
Dan said he's bad at business.
I don't. I can speak for the shipping containers. We don't have conversations nor really conviction when it comes to the merch store. We just want Dan to be happy because Dan's fired up about this, and we want our fans to be happy. And I'm really
$36.
I'm really genuinely confused at us being confused at David Sampson and his approach to business, given how well chronicled it's been down here.
I'm demanding it, is what I'm telling you. I'm demanding that we're lowering those prices. We're going to do it in the next segment. Like, in the next segment, we're doing it.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's 2 for $5 wraps are back. And they're even introducing a new mac and cheese chicken wrap. Are you kidding me? Mac and cheese in a wrap? Two of my favorite things in the entire world. That is in addition to the classic and spicy slaw wraps. Creamy mac and cheese, a hand-breaded crispy chicken tender, and 3 cheese blend, all wrapped in a pillowy tortilla. God, do I love a pillowy tortilla. Order ahead on the app and cheer on tasty goodness with KFC's 2 for $5 wraps. It's finger looking good.
Pound for pound, scoop for scoop, nobody does pre-workout like GNC. So forget that junk you can get anywhere else and get to GNC for the real deal best pre-workouts around. Epic brands like Ghost, Beyond Raw, and Caged. Killer flavors, max intensity formulas you can't find anywhere else. If we don't have it, you don't want it. And with our price match guarantee, you know you're getting a real deal. Get ready to take your workouts into a whole new stratosphere with GNC.
Don Le Batard.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald is writing an article, and I'm reading in it. Moss Miami, sold out. Miami artists, Miami culture. And I'm reading Moss Miami is sold out. And I'm reading about Digital Podcast Network, and I'm reading about us, and I'm like, this is our dreams coming true.
Stugotz.
1,000 people come out, and we see the shipping container, and they're on a stage, and they're like rock stars. You and me both had tears in our eyes. We're like mom and dad of sentiment, and it's hard to get you to sentiment, man.
That was a very emotional moment for us to see those guys. I'm telling you guys, you were on stage. Dan and I were both crying. Are you guys aware of this? Crying.
Yeah,
like crocodile tears.
We believe
no, crocodile tears are fake. Crocodile tears are fake.
Amazing.
I thought they meant big.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I am so happy to see this man.
He makes me smile.
I mean,
and what a chair.
For a number of reasons. I mean, it's legitimately one of the great entertainers of our times, not just sports, for 30 years. And outside of Floyd Mayweather, maybe the best marketer in the history of sports, talker, seller of himself and confidence, and now aiming to be one of the big money coaches at the top of his sport that has more than four wins right now.
Yes.
More than 4 wins right now.
Also a top 5 smile of all time.
Yes.
I mean,
so, Dion, hold on just a second because I'm going to tell the audience without waiting another second. The promo code for the merch store, Samson Sucks 20, the number 20.
Okay.
Samson Sucks, the number 20. 20% off everything in the damn store.
Has nothing to do with Coach Brian. We're just doing house.
That's correct.
Separate promotion.
That's right. No, but he knows how to promote. So forgive me,
You
Coach.
should let him promote it.
Forgive me. Yeah, you're right about that. Coach, thank you for being on with us. And the first thing I want to ask you is how mad are you on behalf of your beloved alma mater? How mad are you today on behalf of FSU?
Well, I can't be upset. We're recruiting against those guys. You got to understand that. This is business now. So I can't be mad. But when you got to look at it, so a lot of people don't look at it as business. I look at it as this is entertainment, but this is business. So there's no way you're going to leave Coach Saban in Alabama out of a playoffs. Who should be really upset? Not only Florida State, but Kirby Smart. He's been number 1 for the last 2 years or 3 years, and they're out. What about them? I mean, this is unbelievable. I want those problems. Give me those problems.
I would think that you would appreciate this. The whole thing, though.
Those problems.
Coach, the whole thing is a made-for-TV spectacle, so Alabama has to get in. Like, Alabama has to.
So Alabama's deserving of getting in.
Okay, we can argue about that, but Dion's okay with the whole thing being a TV commercial. That's what we're all doing. We're all selling sports.
This is what it is. What it is. I mean, you know who really messed it up, and they're really good. But you know who messed it up is Washington. They messed it up because that's not a huge market, and they're in. You got there in Michigan, Texas, Alabama, Washington, and they can play. God, they're good. I mean, they can flat out play. They got a quarterback that's out of this world. The defense is coming. This is made for. I can't wait to see how it plays out. But leaving out of Florida State as well as a Georgia, my God, that's why I'm thankful it's increased next year. And guess who's going to be in?
I couldn't guess. I mean, I had no idea.
Oh, man.
I love that Washington screwed it up, Dion, by winning and going undefeated.
My God.
Yeah,
and
I know.
they can play. They're really good.
I know.
They can play. God, they can play.
But I think the real team that messed it up is Auburn a couple of weeks ago. They really messed it up.
Yeah. Auburn, yeah, but you can't have a playoff without Nick Saban in Alabama. You can forget that. You forget that. That's not going to happen.
Season 2 of Coach Prime premieres Thursday on Amazon Prime Video. I really do love, Prime, how you've evolved everything you've done with your career to be where it is you are now, because nobody knows how hard you had it to try. You were saying years ago I should start as a head coach in the NFL, and everyone said no. He's got to do a bunch of learning. So they made you do it, and someone with your credentials never has to go the route that you had to go. And then you got paid at Colorado, and you got 4 victories. Everybody was excited at the beginning of the season. What was the rest of it like for you? Because that seemed like it wouldn't be a lot of fun.
No, it was tough. The reason it was tough because I'm a darn winner. I'm a winner. So that's tough with losing games. Not only losing games, we got our butts kicked twice. Now, the rest of the games, we were in it within 6 to 7 to 8 points of victory that we were right there. You talk about a team that won 1 game prior that was in it for 10 games that could have possibly won, but we didn't know how to win. We didn't have those 8 to 10 players that we need to get us over the hump. But guess what today is? It's portal day.
He loves it.
It's portal day. Guess where I am? In the portal. The portal. I am in the portal like I'm not hard to find. You know I'm not hard to find. And guess what I'm finding? Linemen.
They're important.
You guys watch this play. What did you say? Man, they had some linemen. Those guys would be right there. Guess what today is? Portal day. And I'm going to get those things you said I need.
But I don't, you make it, it's so naked and bare as business right now. And you've always been someone who likes to get dirty there. Portal day, you've been losing a lot of recruits too. What's happening there?
No, we've been losing a lot of 25 guys. You want a high school kid to stay loyal to me, and he's not loyal to his girlfriend? What? Who am I? No. These are 2025. We lost one guy in 24. You see, I can't say what I want to say because I'm a coach now, and I can't say what I want to say because it's offensive. But if you do your homework on what we lost, did we really need that?
He's losing who he wants to lose.
You weren't good enough.
Now, you got to understand, you guys target us because you say we lost this and lost it. Nothing substantial. Okay, you got teams out there that are losing quarterbacks. They're losing tremendous pieces of their puzzle. We hadn't. And as far as coaches, man, I want all my coaches to elevate and get an opportunity and get to the next level. I love that. That's what I want in life. I want everybody to go to the next level. So one of my mentors, one of my guys that I get to shoot a commercial with every year is Coach Saban. When I'm shooting a commercial, I'm throwing questions at him 100 miles an hour, and he's hitting them right back to me. I mean, like Barry Bonds, and I love it. And it's not a season that he does not lose coaches. And he's giving me the wisdom on that. So I love it. These guys are elevating, man. That's what you want. You want impact to be an institution where people want to glean from you. I love that. But as far as the kids, man, that's part of the game.
Do you like the business of it, or is it too dirty?
It's not too dirty. I just want to play with what you play with. If you got a big marble, I want a big marble. You know, if you got a swing set, I want to be pushed too in the swing set. I don't want you to have the competitive advantage of finances, and I don't like that part. I don't want it to be NASCAR. I want it to be college football, and I love all the attributes of it. I love college football, man. I do what I love, and I love what I do. It's not a day that I wake up in Boulder, Colorado, that I don't want to get in there and go get it. And I'm getting to father my kids at the same darn time. I'm the happiest man alive, man.
Dion, what is the most challenging thing about coaching your son?
Nothing really, because they're pretty good.
Yeah, they are pretty good.
Both my kids are pretty darn good. And then my son that does all of the video work and YouTube stuff, you guys YouTube, he's phenomenal. He is one of the best in the game.
So he's protecting the business as well. He is really, honestly, one of the best businessmen of my time. Season 2 of Coach Prime premieres Thursday on Amazon Prime Video. I am happy to see you in the game, sir. Let's talk more often because it's, you carried the football season for a month, Dion. That's crazy. That's crazy.
It got pretty heavy. I got to admit, it got heavy. And I had to let it go. It got heavy. Okay. But this season, you get to see everything, man. Exciting, exhilarating, electrifying, and now coming from hope, which we instilled in everybody in Boulder, Colorado that can touch the program. Now there's expectation. That's why I got to get off this phone and get in that portal so I can meet my expectation.
All right, see you later.
Hey, I love you guys.
Good seeing you.
Can we do this more often?
Portal
please?
Day.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Whenever you want
Portal
to.
Day.
Whenever you want to sell stuff here.
Yeah. Anytime you want.
We got a merch store. Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow.
You know I can sell now.
Portal Day. Portal Day. Portal Day. Portal Day. Portal Day. Tomorrow, Dion, okay?
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. I'm sorry. I have put so much into the show that hasn't allowed us to talk about college football because the chaos has arrived. No, we're dying to talk about everything that happened yesterday, Stugotz, because it was just the perfect spectacle. Like, I really do think that in the future, if they could have kept it together, but just have like all 6 of the teams pick one representative that argues in front of America why their team should be in and turn that into the pregame show.
Perhaps Herschel Walker.
That would be a great
Where is he?
Game show. So everyone's mad in a scenario where it's inevitable, Stugotz, because it's not about measuring the best. It's a concoction. It's the last 4, but it's not about measuring the best. It is about make a television show. And make the argument around why the television show measures who and who isn't best, but let's just get the ratings. Let's just make sure that we get everybody. It's a made-for-television spectacle. It is not pure.
I would actually like to applaud the committee. I don't care what it is. It was entertaining, and I think we got the Final Four that we wanted. We got the best 4 teams or the best or the most entertaining teams in the country, Dan.
The best for television.
So I want to applaud the committee because for years we have been railing against, the last 2 undefeated teams. They play each other in a national championship. You know what the committee said? Not this year. That team, while undefeated, while in a Power 5, while winning 2 or 3 road games and, conference championship games with their backup quarterback and their third-string quarterback, they're not good enough. These teams are better, and I applaud them because I do believe the 4 teams they put in are better than Florida State.
Also best for television, and can be both.
I don't know if that's true, Stugotz, if they are. It depends how you rate these things, and I think their argument was that Florida State without Jordan Travis is a different team than Florida State with Jordan Travis, and that was their excuse for letting them go. I don't really think it came down to ACC being a second-tier league or whatever, although I think that they're never going to leave out an SEC team. There was never going to be a playoff without at least one SEC team. I could even have seen them putting in Georgia and Alabama, and I was
But is
stunned.
it because of the strength of the conference, or is it because those are obviously, if it's Alabama, Georgia, you've got Georgia getting unceremoniously dropped after the run they just had? That's offensive what just happened with Georgia.
It should be noted for Georgia, 29-game win streak, back-to-back reigning, defending national champions.
Lost by 3.
They lose by 3.
But those seasons don't carry over, Mike.
I mean, I understand, but there's something to be said for
But then how does Alabama get in then? That's the whole...
Hold on. I'm gonna
Georgia.
I'm gonna just totally take you apart right now because you say they have the best 4 teams in there. Do you think really that if we're putting the 4 best teams in there, Georgia's not one of the 4 best teams?
No, I don't.
Well, that's convenient.
I don't.
But I think anybody would say Georgia's one of the best 4 teams in the nation.
Except a committee of people whose job it is to decide this. They said no.
It's just awfully convenient to apply the logic towards Alabama. They're one of the 4 best teams in the nation. That's what this college football playoffs is about.
It's one of the worst Bama teams in a decade.
I mean, if you're going to apply that logic, then Georgia should be there too. It was a hard decision one school, multiple schools were going to be pissed off by it. There's really no great answer to it, but generally, I think most people are like Stugotz, happy that they get to see Alabama instead of a third-string quarterback.
I want to stay here a little bit, so we're going to do more of this next because I know Chris Cody wants to get in here. I can't wait to hear what Chris Cody has to say. He rooted for this.